As of this morning, there are more than 200 Democratic lawmakers calling for President Trump to be removed from office, along with one Republican congressman.
That congressman is Illinois Congressman Adam Kinzinger, and he's back with us this morning, joining us. Thank you for coming on this morning. We do appreciate it. All right. Well, you said that the president is unfit and unwell last night, and then he took to Twitter to say that there would be a peaceful transfer of power. Has that announcement changed your opinion in any way?
No, I mean, just because the president gave a good speech doesn't change what happened. I think there is going to end up being more than one Republican that is supporting removing the president, even though it's only 12 days. I mean, what we have to do is step back from this emotion of it and look at what happened. There is no doubt, and actually investigators are looking at this and looking at potential charges for different people, that this was the incitement of a mob. And it started pre-election, after election, and right there at the election. This mob, for the first time since the British overran the Capitol in the War of 1812, overran the Capitol. And it's sad that some people think that's okay. What that was, and I think when we look at this with a clear eye, there'll be a better understanding. That was a executive branch attack on the legislative body, the legislative branch. That is a massive problem.
Those are strong words, Congressman. You know, as you know, several of the seditionists have been identified. They are members of the Proud Boys, of the National Socialist Club, and the 3 Percenters. As a party, how in the world do you scrape these groups off of your shoes?
See, we have to understand that winning elections is not worth anything if you're not doing it honorably and you're not actually fighting for honor. Some of these groups that have glommed onto the Republican Party, because the Republican Party is one of 2 parties, for some reason have been embraced because that helps us win elections. But what that also leads to is an insurrection, a coup attempt that happened the other day. And I think, quite honestly, that this is a stain that unless the president is removed, we're going to have to basically try to clean off ourselves for decades.
There are a lot of questions about the security that was not there to protect you all while you were there inside the Capitol. What are we finding out about what they knew ahead of time? I have to imagine, based on what we've seen happen in Portland and Seattle, that, you know, it possibly could not possibly have been more than just Trump supporters out there. People, Antifa, have been known to embed themselves. So what do we know about this investigation right now?
Well, we know this was Trump supporters. I mean, I've seen some of the accusations out there that this was actually Antifa. It's all been false because, you know, now as we're identifying people that actually did this, we see that that's not the case. Could you have thrown 1 or 2 in there? Maybe. But this was a mob violence and insurrection attempt promoted by the president, and I think we have to push back against that. And I think as we go forward, and I think criminal charges are announced as people are identified. You know, there are 5 dead people because of this. There are 5 dead people. There are people that were chanting that it was 1776. All these people I see on Twitter that talk about how awesome a civil war would be got hit with pepper spray and were crying. Okay, I'll tell you what, a real civil war is going to be a lot worse than taking pepper spray to the face. And now we have a Capitol police officer that died a hero because he got beaten by a fire extinguisher. A fire extinguisher.
Yeah, Congressman, we got less than a minute. I'm so glad you brought that up because we spoke with your colleague, Mike Quigley, yesterday, and he was singing your praises for your stance, but he was also telling our viewers about just how terrifying it was. What was the scariest moment for you personally?
So I left the floor. I saw this happening. By the way, I've predicted violence for weeks, and I left the floor, went to my office when all this started. There was about a 30-minute moment where I actually thought the entire Capitol and the office buildings and the tunnels were going to be overrun, and I'm basically sitting there like the Alamo in my office. It was a bad day. Well,
we're glad that you are okay, and we wish you the best of luck with everything. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We would definitely like to talk with you more, but we're getting the wrap right now. Thank you.
All right. See